agritech innovation is Sense Hub Dairy, the modular end-to-end dairy system combining animal behaviour monitoring, milk intelligence and automation in one connected platform, backed by MSD Animal Health.
And joining us on the line as part of our agritech segment, brought to you by our great friends at Sense Hub Dairy. Joining us after quite an incredible Friday night at the High Tech Awards is, I've got it here, my apologies, Maddie. How are you from Hectre? It's been a wee while since we talked, Maddie. Do you recall that when you first launched Hectre a few years back? When was that?
I recall something vaguely, and my timelines might be wrong, but a handful of years ago. But this is we're 10 years in now.
Yes, I'm starting to feel old too, Maddie. So, hey, for those our audience who don't know much about Hectre and how it is transforming with AI and technology in the orchard management space, can you give us a bit of an overview?
Yeah. So we're a company that has evolved a lot over the years, initially with a software solution for growers to manage their orchard, to track how much fruit is coming off the farm, what their costs are, and help drive efficiency that way. Over the years, we've evolved into being much more of a hardware-enabled SaaS company or a software company. And so we use sensors, cameras to scan the top of fruit bins, and we will capture data around the size and the grade of fruit. And then right now we're also investing into capturing the quality of fruit as well. So if there are any defects, and then eventually maturity of fruit as well. So we kind of want to have everything in this one platform that is captured once automatically. You don't have to actually add anything into the process, which in terms of the way fruit flows from an orchard into a pack house. And then that data becomes hugely valuable when you're deciding, who can I sell this to? Who wants this particular fruit? How should I store it? And how should I package it? And so without this data, you're making a lot of decisions based on last year's data or very, very small sample sizes, which are just statistically not accurate. And so that leads to essentially globally billions in loss, which is crazy, absolutely crazy.
Maddie, I'm interested in this because unlike Sarah, I don't actually know a lot about your product and what you've done in the past, but I'm intrigued by what you're talking about. But also, it does say that it's AI powered, and I'm just interested in obviously the evolution, the magnificent evolution in AI technology we've seen in the past. I would say the past 18 months to 2.5 years, where it's sort of becoming mainstream, I guess now. How much has that changed your business, or were you already on that path before we kind of all caught up?
Yeah. We've been using machine learning for the last 7 years or so. And so we've built a whole lot of different models for different varieties of fruit in different regions around the world in order to accurately size and calibrate the grade of fruit. And so AI, generally when people say AI now, it's these large language models, and they're using them to, still for a lot of companies do things like help put together business plans and emails and stuff. But what we do is quite separate to that. So it's how you classify fruit, and then we use neural networks in order to determine what the probabilistic relationship between what we think we see with a computer and is that a piece of fruit or not, and then how well you can draw a bounding box around that to accurately truly get a measurement. So we've been doing these things for years, and so as Claude and OpenAI have come about, it hasn't really changed what we do. And I'm actually very, very glad in terms of the direction we've taken, because the hardware is critical. And you need that in order to unlock some of these data points. So again, that's very hard for AI to suddenly come along and take over what we've done, which we do see for a lot of software companies.
What hardware companies, tractors, and orchard equipment are you working with and pairing with to get those data sources and all those passes through the orchard?
We use a whole lot of different hardware products, and we essentially assemble it into our own product. But that ranges from using CMOS cameras, or RGB cameras, in order to look at the visible spectrums of what can we see, what color is this fruit. We are now purchasing hyperspectral imaging equipment as well. We use sensors to determine depth of field, special lenses on the camera. So lots of different components that we put together in order to deliver a seamless product.
When it comes to New Zealand agritech, Matty, what's the advantage and the disadvantage for us to reach a global market?
I'll speak on behalf of the horticulture side, because ag is broad, and we don't do anything with dairy farmers, for example. And on the horticulture side, a lot of the fruit that is exported either needs to be shipped as soon as it's grown and picked, for example, cherries, or for apples, they can last a long time. They go into storage. New Zealand has, especially for apples, played in this space where we are really good when it comes to quality. And that quality is what drives someone in the UK to wait months for the fruit to arrive, and they purchase our fruit over someone else's, even though that we're covering far more kilometers to get the fruit there. And so there's this drive to be high quality always, high yield, high quality, and especially to cover that distance, it's a lot of time and cost. And so I think New Zealand has done a great job in doing that consistently and having solid relationships with these buyers all around the world. I think it's maybe looking ahead, it's a really tough gig, because other markets are driving quality up over time as well. So how do you continue to compete and innovate? And the margins have to make sense. And so there's opportunity for New Zealand to keep being in that position, but you'll have to keep adopting the technology that comes along. And I think it's tough, honestly, because a lot of other countries also have subsidies, like multi-million-dollar subsidies to go toward grading equipment and other stuff that is not necessarily the same in New Zealand. I don't have the answer, but it's tough. I think it's very tough for the exporters here. And considering where we're at, they've done a pretty awesome job.
Yeah, I think we take it for granted, don't we, in terms of the size of our, opportunity for horticulture in New Zealand to grow to the next level and add value. But we're in this race against the rest of the world at the same time. I'd be interested to ask you. I remember when we did first chat, Matty, you were saying to me you're not interested at all much in the New Zealand hort market. That you got to grow a global agri-tech startup, and you've been heavily invested in the US. We've heard a lot of agri-tech funding is sort of not drying up, but is not where it used to be, and it's pouring into AI. Does all agri-tech now have to have some form of AI to continue that venture capital need for growth?
I don't think so. No. I think that's one of those statements that generally goes around now, because yes, a lot of investment has gone into AI, and we are in that kind of early bubbly phase for AI. But when it comes down to it, if the metrics are right and the fundamentals and the growth and the technology is defensible, then you'll get investment. It's just, generally speaking, ag tech has lower growth than other verticals, and sophisticated investors know all about that, and they're going to go, well, why would I invest in agritech when it has an average 30-35% growth rate compared to this other industry that's sitting at 70 something? And that's tough. I think you've got to do really well in ag tech in order to be successful as a result. And there are unfortunately lots of startups that will go out of business as a result. But you do not need AI in order to be successful. It's just, well, why wouldn't you be using AI these days? I don't know.
Yeah, no, well, that goes hand in hand. Matt Blomfield is the co-founder and CEO of Hectre, who took out the most innovative high-tech agri-tech solution award as part of the New Zealand High-Tech Awards on Friday, among many others as well in that space. Thank you very, very much, Matty. Appreciate your time.
Thanks very much.
Sense Hub Dairy, powered by MSD Animal Health. To learn more about Sense Hub Dairy's modular dairy system that combines animal behaviour monitoring, milk intelligence and automation in one connected platform, visit sensehub.co.nz.